Hola amigos, this is Sir Ahmed, your Spanish maestro, with a new class for you. Today we are going to learn what reflexive verbs are. How do we use them, how do we conjugate them, and what is the purpose of reflexive verbs. Reflexive verbs describe things one does to oneself every day, okay, like a daily routine, performing actions to or for oneself or on oneself. Those are what we call reflexive verb. Usually when we talk about a daily routine, I get up at 7 in the morning, I bathe, I shave, I wash myself, I dress, actions of this kind. I go to bed, I lie down. Things one do to oneself are called reflexive verbs. Now, how do we recognize a reflexive verb? Reflexive verbs end in SE. That's the way we can recognize if a verb is reflexive. In the indicative, it ends in an SE. For example, acostarse, to lie down. Levantarse, to rise, to get up. Despertarse, to wake up. Okay, vestirse, to dress. Okay, all these verbs are reflexive verbs, and these are actions one does to oneself. Okay, levantarse, to get up oneself. Despertarse, to wake up oneself. Acostarse, to lie down or to go to bed oneself. Okay, these are reflexive verbs. How do we conjugate a reflexive verb? Reflexive verbs are conjugated in the same way as normal AR, ER and IR verbs. The only difference is that we add the me, te, se to it before the conjugation. For example, let us take levantarse. Levantarse is a regular verb, okay? Levanto, levantas, levanta, levantamos and levantan. We have to add the me, te, se before it. So, yo me levanto, tú te levantas, él se levanta, ella se levanta, usted se levanta, nosotros nos levantamos, ellos se levantan. Okay, so we add the me, te, se to it. Let's do one more. Despertar. Despertar is an irregular verb. Okay, the conjugation of despertar is despierto, despiertas, despierta, despertamos and despiertan. Again, we add the me, te, se. So it becomes yo me despierto, tú te despiertas, él se despierta, nosotros nos despertamos, ellos se despiertan. Okay, one more. Acostarse. Acostarse is to go to bed or to lie down. Okay, again we add the me, te, se. Acostarse is also an irregular verb. It becomes acuesto, acuestas, acuesta, acostamos and acuestan. So, yo me acuesto, tú te acuestas, él se acuesta, nosotros nos acostamos, ellos se acuestan. Okay, so these are the formations of reflexive verbs. Some simple sentences. Yo me acuesto a las 11 de la noche. Yo me acuesto a las 11 de la noche. I lie down or I go to bed at 11 at night. Yo me levanto a las 7 de la mañana. Yo me levanto a las 7 de la mañana. I get up at 7 in the morning. Yo me despierto a las 6 de la mañana. Yo me despierto, I wake up. To wake up is despertarse. Yo me despierto a las 6 de la mañana. I wake up at 6 in the morning. Me baño y me visto a las 7 cada mañana. Me baño y me visto a las 7 cada mañana. I bathe and I dress at 7 every morning. Okay, these are examples of reflexive verbs. Conjugations, how we form them with the me, te, se, nos and se. These are reflexive verbs. Okay, once again to recap, things that one do to oneself, or when we describe things one do to oneself or performing actions on oneself. These are called reflexive verbs. This was the first part of our class. The next class will be the second part with various reflexive verbs and what they mean. I hope you enjoyed my class, my friend. Please leave your questions and comments. I'll gladly answer them. and I'll see you in my next class. Hasta luego, amigos.